Hey guys, and welcome to another quick look at a new product from Roar 3D Solutions. So I originally had released my Falke SF as a regular 3D model, and now it is a fully rigged model. So this is the model in a rendered view. I'm going to go ahead and back out here so we get a better view. So what we have going on here is we have a full espresso rig setup, and it's a fairly simple rig. It has a lot of textures it's utilizing right now for the lights for the cockpit. Otherwise, everything is fairly straightforward. So I just want to walk through it with you. So as always, we have the level detail in the renderer. In the editor. You can drop or increase that. It's kind of more of a, if you want to get a quick view with it in a higher subdivision. And your level detail in the renderer is self-explanatory. Each percentile is worth one subdivision. So just keep that in mind. And then what we have here, so you're aware, is the instruments. If I zoom in here and look at the instrument cluster, they are not subdivided within the rest of the group. We have a little artifact going on there. Let's fix that. And as such, they are actually they're already baked out at a little bit of a subdivision, so that you have a really nice look, whether you're using the actual aircraft subdivided or not. So that does increase the polygon count a little bit, but trust me, it's actually worth that effort. So that's that. So if we look at aircraft color, so as I usually try and do, you have the ability to go ahead and change the color of the aircraft. So you have your primary base coat, you have your one of your colored stripes, and the nose of the aircraft. And then you can go ahead and play with, I'm just going to make an outrageous color. Actually, let's do something kind of like that. And then you have a secondary stripe that you can make some coloration changes to. And then, as it always goes, you have the ability then to change how much reflectance you have. So here we have a lot of reflectance. Or I could drop it down where we are basically a vinyl matte kind of color. So it just works on the global reflection channel. So, and if you leave it all the way up at 100, it doesn't actually look horribly terrible, but it can get to be a very exciting, bright color. So I'm going to go ahead and return this back. And then what we also have is the propeller control. It's not a direct one-to-one RPM. First you have to get the timeline going, and then you can simply just kind of start cranking up your speed. Now this will render out in the physical renderer again, so if you decide that you want to do an animation, you really want the physical renderer to give you a really nice prop blur instead of using a plate or a texture as your prop blur, you can absolutely do that, and it will give you a really nice output. The canopy, as it is on the SF25, lifts forward and kind of holds into place. The spoilers will retract and extend on the wings. In fact, I'll go ahead and bump this up just so we have a cleaner view. So they will retract and extend on the wings quite nicely. And then you have your typical roll control, your pitch control from your elevator, if I can hit the right one, and then you have rudder. And of course, mixed with all these is going to be your cockpit controls. So with roll, you will have the flight stick bank, you will have it pitch, and for the rudder, you do have the pedals that do articulate as they are supposed to. So that's that for the general rig of the aircraft. We'll go ahead and drop that back down. The next thing that we have are cockpit lights and some nav and beacons. So by the cockpit lights, there's a little bit of a little internal. Actually, I'll go ahead and drop that off so you can get a view. So here's your cockpit lighting if you're at full power. And then as you drop it down, it will actually follow that power, and it will actually become a very lowly, dimly lit light to where you end up having, no illumination. So those are all mixed, multiplied channels. And also with that, if I drop the canopy down here, you have beacons. And as always, I set the highlights in the editor. I can deselect that, and then you see the lights in the cockpit, you see the lights on the tail. And to make the beacons run, it's actually just a white static light, as it is normally in general aviation for the rear. And I have a beacon on a modulo that will go ahead and give you a kind of a nice reflectance as the timeline is rolling. And just the same as it drops off, that light will drop off, and you can see the lighting right there from the rear of the aircraft. So that's it. Fairly quick, fairly simple. Hope you guys have a whole lot of fun with this model. It's a good looking airplane. It's a motor glider, and it's moreover a German with the Schenthurth that's typical to making these type of aircraft that we don't have in America, and they're really cool aircraft in general. So thanks for watching. I hope this is useful for you, and as always, happy modeling.